Please stand at attention for the national anthem of Trinidad and Tobago. Forged from the love of liberty, in the fires of hope and prayer, with boundless faith in our destiny, we solemnly declare. Side by side we stand, islands of the blue Caribbean Sea, this our native land. We pledge our lives to thee. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation.
You place your right hand on your left. We stand as one family, bound to each other with love and respect. We serve as an army, courageous and disciplined, ever ready to fight against all low tendencies and false values within and without us. We live honestly, the noble life of sacrifice and service, producing more than what we consume and giving more than what we take. We seek the Lord's grace to keep us on the path of virtue, courage, and wisdom. May thy grace and blessings flow through us to the world around us. We believe that the service of our country is the service of the Lord of Lords, and devotion to the people is the devotion to the Supreme Self. We know our responsibilities. Give us the ability and courage to fulfill them. Om Tat Sat. Upavisha, please be seated. We would now have the students of the Chinmaya Vidyalaya chanting mantras of the Prāṇa and selected gems of the Ramcharitmanas.
Jai Shri Ram. 2023 marked the 500th year since the passing of Sant Mahatma Goswami Tulsidas Ji Maharaj. The chaupais and the dohas of the Ramcharitmanas became the receptacle by which we, this generation in Trinidad and Tobago, have remembered Rām RAAJ and have remembered our duty, Rām KAAJ. And so it is so fitting that we can see our next generation carrying on with the same chaupais and dohas that have brought the message to us. So please show your appreciation again for these wonderful students of the Chinmaya Vidyalaya. Arya Putraha, Rishi Putraha, Mananiyaha Sabha Mandranaha. Sarvan Hindu Janan Namami Pranamami. Namaskar, Sīdaram, Hari Om to all the Hindus and honored and respected inhabitants of this land, this noble land, the sons and daughters of our soil, the sons and daughters of the rishis. I offer my salutations and pranams.
Asmakam Trayodasha Varsha Pratipada Sansadi Pritya Bhavatam Swagatam Karumi. It is with great honor and pleasure I welcome you to our 13th annual Varsha Pratipada Sansad. This year our theme is Rām RAAJ through Rām KAAJ, fulfilling duties to revive a nation. We extend hearty greetings of this Hindu New Year, which will officially be celebrated on the 9th of April this year, to all of you by saying Sukhado Nava Varsho Bhavatu. May this new year bring joy.
13 years ago, at this very juncture of the ushering of the Varsha Pratipada, which this year takes place on the 9th of April, the Hindu New Year, inspiration heralded many of us to contemplate and mark the beginning of a new era for our nation of Trinidad and Tobago, as well as a new beginning for our Sanatana Dharma Hindu community. The time had come for a reinvigoration of Hindu Dharma. Our Sanatana Dharma is founded on the subtle, simple yet profound insights of the rishis who documented and recorded all of these in our sacred shastras. They laid out for us a foundation unparalleled in this world. They have carved out steps and presented to us the requisite tools of matchless quality so that we ourselves today can be ambassadors of Sanatana Dharma. Keeping this in mind, the Varsha Pratipada Sansad serves to bring to the fore the awareness of the Hindu calendar. This is the celebration of the Hindu New Year in Trinidad and Tobago. And it presents an opportunity for us to strengthen our resolve to articulate clearly a healthy vision for ourselves and to express ourselves in a sober voice, to explore the best of our Hindu heritage and to be respectful of the national diversity, and most importantly, to give ourselves in the fulfillment of our yogic and yajnic traditions, the purpose that we all have to do, which is Loka Sangraha, the welfare of all. This 13th Varsha Pratipada Sansad has come at a time when we are seeing a major civilizational realignment. On the 22nd of January 2024, we would have all witnessed a major event where after 500 years, the Pratiṣṭhā of Ram Lalla at that new Mandir in Ayodhyā took place. That spot, which is the accepted birthplace of Prabhu Shri Ram. Imagine it took 500 years. Many persevered to keep the memory of Shri Ram at Ayodhyā alive. combating at that time many false narratives. Sadly as well, many lives were lost on this journey as well. But finally, the courts of the land had then declared that Shri Ram has to return to Ayodhyā. But we must ask ourselves today, in the return of Shri Ram, is it just the civilizational reawakening manifesting as a geographical space? Or is there something deeper to all of this? Why is Prabhu Shri Ram so important and dear to us? What does Shri Ram stand for? Not just for the individual spiritual seeker, but as a people, and more so as we, the children of the Jahajis and the Gurmityas, the persons who would have crossed the dark waters, who would have kept this memory of Shri Ram alive. Or was it that Shri Ram kept us alive? It may very well be that. Thus, when we speak today about a way forward from that Ayodhyā event in January, we are speaking about this topic, Rām RAAJ Rām KAAJ, fulfilling duties to revive a nation. What does Shri Ram and what does Rām RAAJ mean to us? Is it relevant today? And how is it relevant today? We shall seek these answers in the few minutes and hours ahead. To commence today's proceedings is something that is on the calendar annually, Sāvadhan. Sanatana Dharma is standing at critical crossroads. We ourselves are the result of our own actions. The Sansad this afternoon is alerting our Samaj as well as recording the notable issues that have emerged internationally within the past year. To present this year's Sāvadhan is my co-chair, Shri Vishala Siudaji. I now invite Vishalaji to present the Sāvadhan.
Jai Shri Ram! Sāvadhan 2024 is entitled Sanatana Civilization. There must be some deep reasons underlying the otherwise complacent Sanatani community to get all excited, energized, and suddenly alive to its history in Bharat. Why has the reclaiming of the Ayodhyā Mandir connected the Indian diaspora across the continents? 1. Is the Prāṇ of the Murti of Ram Lalla, Boy Rama, an avataric message of the resuscitation of Sanatan Dharma? Is it a call to civilization which had risen to the heights of material wealth, excellent social development, and spiritual heights, and thus sought after by invaders? Is it that an excellent civilization, weary from invasion, enough to surrender and retire to hovels as coolies? Is it that they never really forgot, but hid their truths in stories, in the Puranas and Itihasas, and ritualized them until such time when it is a Mangal Mahurat? Is it that the time has come now and the signal of Prāṇ of Ayodhyā has been so wound up and mysteriously connected to the masses that the mere chants of the mystic mantras on January 27th could be wafted across the globe to waiting hearts and longing minds? And is it that the vibration triggered off an Aram bell across the globe? Nothing else makes sense for Kumbhakaran like Stupa to end with such energy, renewal, readiness, and anticipation. It has happened. What are we going to do with it? A good example comes from Bhakta Hanuman. When they landed at the seashore, Sita Mata was captive in Lanka. Who will respond? Everyone felt it was too much for their ability. Jambavant then reminded them of 4 things. Who they were, Pavanatanaya, their strengths, Balapavana Samana, their capabilities, Buddhi, Vivek, Vigyan, and their purpose, Rām KAAJ lagi tava avatara. The result? Sunatahi bhayau parabata akara. Also, Mainak asked Hanuman to rest. He replied, Rām KAAJ kinha binu, mohi kaha bisram. There can be no rest for me until I have completed Rām KAAJ. Sita Devi is the symbol of Sanatana civilization. This katha has placed a civilizational proposition before Hindus in the diaspora. Colonialism long gone. Will Pratiṣṭhā of Sanatan Dharma follow in the diaspora? Kinkara, what to do?
Shraddhanjali. The Varsha Pratipada Sansad recognizes and honors the ancient tradition of Shraddhanjali, which gives us as Hindus the important esteem of calling into our memory, in harmony with spirit of celebration, those who have now joined the Pitris, our ancestors. It is our sacred duty to remember and to respect those who have served as pillars of Sanatana Dharma, especially here in Trinidad and Tobago. Kumari Sandhya Kasi of the Hindu Prachar Kendra will be next, presenting this year's Shraddhanjali. I invite Kumari Sandhya Kasi to stage.
Namaskar. Varsha Pratipada Sansad offers Shraddhanjali in honor of our country's 5th Prime Minister, Mr. Basudeb Pandey. When he passed away on the 1st of January 2024, we lost a true patriot and fighter who struggled his entire life for the welfare of the poor and underprivileged. Whether as a trade unionist, lawyer, or politician, betterment of the people took precedence. Mr. Basudeb Pandey was born on the 25th of May, 1933, at St. Julian, Princestown. He attended the New Grant Government and St. Julian Presbyterian schools. Then, he went on to Presentation College, San Fernando. He got his law degree at Lincoln's Inn and a Bachelor of Science in Economics from the University of London. He also studied drama and was an actor who appeared in several films. When Mr. Basudeb Pandey returned to Trinidad, he became the President General of All Trinidad Sugar Estates and Factory Workers Trade Union, which later became the All Trinidad Sugar and General Workers Trade Union. His representation resulted in increased wages for the workers, which was doubled what they were receiving previously. He got involved in politics and in 1966 was a candidate for the Workers' and Farmers' Party. He first entered Parliament as an opposition senator in 1972. Then, in 1975, he co-founded the United Labour Front. In 1976, he contested the Couva North constituency and became the MP, which was a seat he held until he retired in 2010. In 1986, he joined forces with A.N.R. Robinson to form the National Alliance for Reconstruction, which won the election that year, and he became Minister of Foreign Affairs. A breakup with A.N.R. led to him founding the United National Congress in 1989, and he became Prime Minister in 1995. He was the first Indian and Hindu to hold that office. He was unafraid of being Hindu in office and to introduce characters from the Hindu texts and words of the Hindi language into national conversation. He was also noted for singing Hanuman Chalisa at Hindu religious ceremonies. In 2005, he was awarded the Pravasi Bharatiya Samman by the government of India. Basdev Pandey was a proud son of the Jahaji and a proud Caribbean Hindu. His quotable quotes are well known. For instance, politics has a morality of its own. And if you see me and a lion fighting, feel sorry for the lion. That was the silver fox. The nation is forever grateful for your love, life, and service. Om Sadgati. Varsha Pratipada Sansad also offers Shraddhanjali in honor of two dedicated Pandits, whose lifelong service to their communities must be acknowledged. Pandit Krishna Naipal of Mantra Shagwanas and Pandit Krishna Maharaj of Arangwes. Both Pandits extended themselves diligently and lovingly to all those they mentored and served. Om Sadgati. Namaskar.
Over the years, the space created by the Varsha Pratipada Sansad through the Senate Sabha allows for critical Hindu thinking and sharing that has made indelible marks in our society. In this space, we see the allowance for respectful debate within the Hindu community on topics that directly impact our lives as Hindus and also as Trinidadians. Disagreement is not met with contempt, but with the understanding that everyone is working towards a unified goal. Therefore, we see the generation of healthy discussions that fuel the flames of our main purpose, which is to build and nurture an enriched Hindu community. Each year, during our Senate Sabha, we are privileged to be party to academic and non-academic perspectives alike on the various core themes that have been selected for the Sansad. This year, 2024, our Senate Sabha was hosted on the 10th of March, and presiding over the Senate was our esteemed Sabhapati, who is none other than my co-host for today's program, Dr. Vedavid Manikji. Dr. Manik is a consultant in internal medicine at the Sandy Grandi Hospital with a professional interest in geriatric medicine and palliative care. A former national scholar from Hillview College, he graduated from the University of the West Indies in 2011. He serves under his guru, Pandit Dudnath Rampasad, at the Vishwanath Hindu Social and Cultural Organization. Dr. Manik is a true son of the soil who has dedicated his life to service of man and is deeply invested in the national cause of Sanatana Dharma. I now call on Dr. Manik to present a report on this year's Senate.
Mārgadarśak, Pūjya Swāmī Prakāshānandaji, Dr. Shri Raviji, Gita Vahini-ji, who is our gracious hostess here at the Hindu Prachar Kendra, to our Senator, Independent Senator of the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. Derup Timal, and I acknowledge Dr. Bishnu Raghunath, who has been a senator for this year, our 6th Senate. To the members of the constituent organizations of this Varsha Pratipada Sansad, it is my privilege to report to this esteemed audience the events of that 6th Varsha Pratipada Sansad Senate, revolving around this year's theme, Rām RAAJ to Rām KAAJ, fulfilling the duties to revive a nation. As you heard before, this event took place right here at the Hindu Prachar Kendra on Sunday, 10th of March, 2024. 3 esteemed senators spoke on issues revolving around this topic, and they raised several pertinent issues and questions which I report to you. Our first senator was Dr. Bhuvanjodhat Tiwari, former government minister and principal at the University of the West Indies. And he spoke on the topic, Ramayana as inspiration, Lord Rama as exemplar, and Ayodhyā Mandir as the pivot. Dr. Tiwari laid the foundation for what constitutes a society governed by Rām RAAJ. This is that justice is possible to all persons, that good governance is achievable, that each person can be morally good, and that good ultimately triumphs over evil. He emphasized the universality of Shri Ram and Rām RAAJ, and noted that it is applicable to providing the principles to all persons, not just only to the Hindu community, but even to the wider diaspora. Because, according to Dr. Tiwari-ji, even though we are 100% Trinidadian, we know of Lord Rama, we know of Ayodhyā, we know of Rām RAAJ. We are emotionally connected to Shri Ram, and so on the 22nd of January, we saw manifestations throughout the length and breadth of this island of that emotional connect to a place that many of us perhaps have not seen before. Dr. Tiwari, no doubt drawing on his experience as an experienced economist, noted that this Rama Mandir has come at such an opportune time in history when Bharat has emerged as having the largest young population in the world, where Bharat is at the cusp of scientific progress. Last year, Chandrayaan-3 landed on the moon. That Bharat is at the unprecedented economic growth, and it is now rivaling that of China in the 80s. Thus, Rām RAAJ and its physical manifestation of Ayodhyā Mandir has become a pivot for history for the next century to come. Dr. Tiwari was followed by Dr. Bishnu Raghunath-ji, who is present with us in the audience today. Dr. Bishnu Raghunath is a lecturer at the University of the West Indies, and he's a chairman of the Council for Responsible Political Behavior. He spoke on the topic, the ethics and the ideals of Rām RAAJ, governance and leadership lessons for contemporary societies. Dr. Raghunath, for those present, drew parallels between 2 governance models that are found within the Ramayana, Rām RAAJ versus Rāvan Rāj. In Rām RAAJ, Dr. Raghunath noted that as a king, Shri Ram listened and provided justice to all, including the common man, and even, as we see in Uttarakhand and Nalkuskan, even to a dog. He kept high regard for his council of persons who were there with him even when he was not seated on the throne of Ayodhya, such as Hanumanji. His disposition to such persons did not change with the acquisition of power. He led an inclusive and consultant leadership, as was seen in Kiskindakan, where he sought counsel as to the best way to meet the challenge that Bali presented. And most importantly, he noted, was that ministers and advisors were not kept as yes men, but were rather there to challenge the thought and action of the leadership. More so, Shri Rām was ready to listen to the counsel whenever it proved beneficial. Contrast this to Ravana Raj. In Ravana Raj, Ravana kicked out Vibhishan when what was said was not pleasing to his heir, even if it was wise counsel, and he kept around him only persons who agreed and aligned with his ideology. And Ravana ruled with fear, demanding his way at the cost of position and even life within his society. It was a truly authoritarian state. From the viewpoint of governance, Rām RAAJ asks us to look at the following: how to generate and preserve harmony in politics in a society where adversarial politics promotes divisions. Injustice. Do those who are in the lower ends of our society today believe that they will get an equal hearing in the courts of the land? Will our leaders lead with truth, especially in a world where our leaders are accusing each other of lying constantly? Consultation should be sincere, as it was with Shri Rām, and not ever have reason to be described as a papi show. And also, we should consider, should we keep non-functional persons in place simply because they have favor with leadership? Dr. Raghunath was followed by our third senator, esteemed Pandita Dr. Indrani Ramprasad. Pandita Dr. Indrani Ramprasad is a lecturer and member of the Research Education Committee at the Ayodhyā Research Institute, and her topic was Rām Rājya and Destiny. Pandita Ji noted that Rām RAAJ focused on dharmic authority as opposed to temporal authority, on safety and security. In Rām RAAJ, it provides a comfortable environment in which the individual, the average citizen, can pursue and seek moksha. Because moksha is not possible unless the basic needs such as food, water, and security is ensured. Rām RAAJ speaks to a society where people do not kill each other, and persons are allowed to know their makeup and not forced to become something which they are not. And in Rām RAAJ, everyone is entitled to swift justice and equality to justice. Indeed, a fitting mirror held up to the society of Trinidad and Tobago. Following the contributions of our senators, a lively discussion ensued that touched on many issues of governance and the universality of this issue of Rām RAAJ, especially in a multicultural society. However, perhaps the most important question emerging from that discussion occurred at the end. Is Rām RAAJ really about Lord Rām? What are our roles as the average person in this concept of Rām RAAJ? Thank you very much.
From 1985 to 2004, the Hindu Prachar Kendra ran a 20-year project called Mantra of the Year. It was a unique way to teach and communicate the teachings of our Shastras and pertinent issues through English compositions. When we listen to the mantra of the year, composed in 1992 by Dr. Shri Raviji, one could easily think that this 32-year-old composition was written for this time and this year in 2024, especially after the historic reclamation of Ayodhyā. This composition embodies Bharat's own declaration at Prayag as he speaks to the Muni Samaj. In Ayodhyā Kand, Doha 211, Chaupai 3, Mitayi kuyog Rām phir aaye, basahi avadha nahi aana upaye. Calamity will cease and Ayodhyā will thrive again only when Shri Rama returns. I invite members of the Hindu Prachar Kendras Mandali to present Mantra of the Year 1992, Rām phir aaye.
बोलिए सियापति रामचंद्र की जय जय श्री राम
जय श्री राम
You all are too quiet. जय श्री राम
जय श्री राम
ओ रामा
ओ रामा ओ रामा 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 मितई कुजो राम भिड़ी आए बसही अवद नहीं आन उपाय मितई कुजो राम भिड़ी आए बसही अवद नहीं आन उपाय Save ourselves from this situation. It is Lord Rama who must be the foundation. Reclaim Ayodhya must be our mission. Bring back Lord Rama to be the foundation. So build up a life in Rama. So build up the land in Rama. So build up the world in Rama. And I must become a Rama. O Rama, O Rama, O Rama, 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 Mitai Kujot. Ram bhiri aaye, basahi avad nahi aana upaye. Just like Vibhishan, he chose so wisely. Just like Shabari, she waited patiently. Just like Lakshmana, he fought so bravely. Just like Hanuman, he served so selflessly. Rama, become my Shakti. Rama, power my bhakti. Without you, Rama, no bhakti. Without you, Rama, no mukti. O Rama, O Rama, O Rama, 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 mitai pujot. Ram bhiri aaye, basahi avad nahi aana upaye. Even as you made Ayodhya city glad, bring Rām RAAJ to with sunshine and bright and kind wind and rain, the land's fertile crops plentiful again. Make all the folks ever willing, and the leaders always so caring, and parents and children so happy. Bless this universal family. O Rama, O Rama, O Rama, 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 mitai kujot. Ram bhiri aaye, basahi avad nahi aana upaye. Mitai kujot. Ram bhiri aaye, basahi avad nahi aana upaye. O Rama, O Rama, 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 Rama.
बोलिए सियापति रामचंद्र की
Jai.
जय श्री राम
Jai Shri Ram.
And I have to say that is the most popular mantra of the year ever in the 20-year history of mantras of the year.
Jai Shri Ram. Namaste, Hari Om. Rām RAAJ through Rām KAAJ encourages individuals to strive towards righteousness, justice, and moral integrity in all aspects of life. Pūjya Swāmī Prakāshānandaji, the revered spiritual guiding force behind Chinmaya Mission Trinidad and Tobago, is a living embodiment of Rām RAAJ through Rām KAAJ. As the head of Chinmaya Mission Trinidad and Tobago and the principal of Chinmaya Vidyalaya, Swami Prakāshananda routinely would have to make rational decisions and take decisive actions in the operations of both institutions, not by want, but by duty. Swami Prakāshananda's deep understanding of Vedanta philosophy, coupled with his compassionate nature, has endeared him to countless seekers. Swamiji continues to inspire and uplift spiritual aspirants and students who seek the truth, guiding them towards self-realization and the attainment of spiritual awakening, aimed at helping them lead a life of fulfillment and inner peace and self-discovery. His presence is a beacon of light, illuminating the path towards spiritual growth. The Sansad has accepted Swami Prakāshanandaji to be the voice of the Varsha Pratipada Sansad. He is the voice of our reflections to the issues that affect Sanatanis as a community and a nation. I am humbled to invite the Mārgadarśak, the guide of this year's Varsha Pratipada Sansad, Pūjya Swāmī Prakāshānandaji, to enlighten us further, to share his thoughts, and deliver the Mārgadarshan on Rām RAAJ through Rām KAAJ. Pratiṣṭhā.
Mantra of unity will be chanted as Tilakan Malarpan will be done. Swamiji. Sangachadvam samvaradvam samvo manamsi janatam deva bhagam yatha purve sanjanana upasate samano mantra samiti samani samanam manasah chittamesham samana mantram abhimantrayevah samanena voha vishajuhomi samani va akutihi samana hridayani vaha samanam astu vo manaha yathava susahasati harihi om. बोलिए सियापति रामचंद्र की जय. जय श्री राम. स्वामी जी उपविशा.
Jai Shri Ram. Rām RAAJ through Rām KAAJ. Rām RAAJ is a civilizational ideal, an ideal society, state, polity, governance, or civilization rooted in dharma. Dharma is the key point. When we talk about Rām RAAJ, it is centered on, pivoted on dharma. If that is absent, there is no such thing as Rām RAAJ. Rām KAAJ is the putting of all hands on deck and tirelessly striving to achieve that ideal of Rām RAAJ. An ideal demonstrated by Bhagwan Shri Ram himself. Rām KAAJ is a big phrase, the result of which is Rām RAAJ. And I say it is a big phrase because on the one hand, it requires all of us to be acting in accordance with that which is dictated by Bhagwan Ram. But at the same time, Rām KAAJ includes all of karma yoga, which is there in Bhagavad Gita and in the various Shastras. Rām KAAJ includes karma yoga. what exactly is the work of Rām KAAJ, or the work of Bhagwan Ram, which is translated as the work of Ram? What exactly is this? The reason both the Ramayana and Gita give for the manifestation of Bhagwan Ram is to establish dharma. The manifestation of Bhagwan on the whole is to establish dharma. Dharma therefore becomes the bedrock and guiding principle for Rām RAAJ. And in performance of Rām KAAJ, dharma is our guide all the time. Jab jab hoi dharma ki hani, Tulsidashi writes, whenever there is a decline of dharma and there's a rise of adharma, tab tab prabhu dharahi bibidha sarira. Exactly as the Bhagavad Gita, yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati, then tadatmanam srijamyaham, abhyutthanam dharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. Dharma samsthapanarthaya. This is the phrase of Bhagavad Gita. So, Rām KAAJ, for all of us, doing the work of Bhagwan Ram really means this: putting our hands on deck to help to establish dharma on a firm footing once more. Once we are doing that, we are engaged in Rām KAAJ. There are numerous instances in the Ramayana itself, and so many were quoted today, where Bhagwan Ram personally instructs the leaders to stick to Rām KAAJ. He gives Kishkinda, for instance, to Sugriva and says, Angad sahit karahu tum raju, santat hridaya dharahu mama kaju. He gives Kishkinda to Sugriva and tells, you rule this Kishkinda with Angad, but rule and keep in mind Rām KAAJ. Means whatever you are doing, always in mind, you have to do the work of Ram. He gives Lanka to Vibhishan and tells him the same thing. He sends Guha back to Shringaverpur and tells, Jahu bhuvan mama sumirana karehu. Go, rule your city, but remember me, doing your work for me. In Bhagavad Gita, in the 8th chapter, he says also, Mam anusmara yudhyacha. All of this together is doing our work and doing it for the Lord. This is Karma Yoga, and at the same time, it is Rām KAAJ. It is doing the work of Bhagwan. He sends Angad to Lanka and told him, go there and make peace with Ravan. Give him a chance to surrender. He instructs him, Kaaj hamara tasu hita hoi. Seek my work when you go there, and also ripusana karehu, patakahi soi, and seek the welfare of Ravan as well. Like that, on and on and on, throughout the Ramcharitmanas, this Rām KAAJ word comes. In the very famous passage of the end of Kishkinda Kand, Jamban tells Hanumanji, Kauna so kaaj katin jagamahi. What is there so difficult for you to achieve in this world? Jo nahi hoi tat tum pahi. Rām KAAJ lagi tava avatara. You were born to do the work of Bhagwan Ram. That instruction of Jamban is for all of us actually. We are born to do the work of Bhagwan. Usually we end up doing our own work and fail miserably also. But we are all born to do the work of Ram, really. The one who remembers that will certainly become disciple of Bhagwan Ram. But anyway, let me continue to pull from the Ramayana to concretize this very colossal phrase called as Rām KAAJ, whatever exactly is involved in this. Our Sant Mahatma tradition tells that the phrase encapsulates 4 things. Rām KAAJ. Because it is through Rām KAAJ only we will attain Rām RAAJ. 4 things are included in this phrase. Sita Anveshan. Sita Anveshan means the search for Sita. Second, Setu Bandhana, building that bridge. Third, Rakshaso se Yudh Karna, fighting with the Rakshasas. Because all the monkeys are engaged in this thing, isn't it? The Banara Sena is engaged in this thing only. looking for Sitaji, making a bridge, fighting with Rakshasas, and finally inside all of that is Dharma Palan. We may see later on that actually all of this is just one thing which was mentioned earlier, and that is really Sita Anveshan. It is the search for Sita, who represents the essence of Sanatan Dharmic culture, the essence of Hindu power, Hindu wealth, Hindu knowledge. Everything really is represented by Sitaji. Ram, Lakshmana, the whole Banar Sena, the whole army of bears and everybody, they're in search of Sitaji. And in order to find Sitaji, they have to build a bridge, they have to remove the Rakshasas, and in doing all of that also, they have to protect Dharma. Really speaking, Rām KAAJ is, for all of us, in the final analysis, search for Sitaji. Sita Anveshan. Sita is the Shakti aspect of Paramatma. Sita is Lakshmi, wealth. Shakti means power. Huh? Sita is Lakshmi, wealth of the universe. Sita is Atma Shakti, inner strength. Sanatanis should not be naive to think that power and wealth are not necessary. Both should be sought vigorously and obtained legitimately and used for Rām KAAJ. Sanatan Dharma, with its most sincere teaching of oneness, contains the panacea for the decadence which is plaguing the earth. Why should Sanatanis not pursue power and wealth and use them constructively to teach this oneness to the world? This essential teaching of the Upanishads is the only hope for the world which is rigged with problems today. The present ascendance of Bharat on the world stage through power and wealth provides us with a fortuitous opportunity to introduce Sanatan Dharma and its fundamental teaching of oneness to all of humanity. When Hanumanji is reminded of his power, that he is the son of Pavan, and so equal to Pavan, it was quoted earlier, and so equal to Pavan in strength, he moved not. But when Jamban told him that he was born to do RāM KAAJ, he rose into the sky like a mountain, ready for the task at hand. He is not moved by power, he is reminded of his power, but he is moved by RāM KAAJ. When he hears that he was born to do the work of Ram, then only he was moved. Our newfound power and wealth should be properly channeled into RāM KAAJ. We need to be careful not to overstep the bounds of propriety in the exercise of power also. The world is replete with examples of abuse of power. When Hanumanji remembered his power, he got so moved. He said, I'll go there and I'll rip apart Lanka. I'll kill Ravan and bring whole of Trikut here also. That time, Jamban had to temper his power. No. Remember, you have to exercise your power as guided by Bhagwan Ram. Bhagwan Ram did not tell to go there and rip up Lanka and bring it here and all of that. So the exercise of power also has its limitation. That has to be guided also by dharma. Not that we charge into people's place and rip them apart and all of that sort of thing. Power has to be exercised with proper discretion as guided by dharma. RāM KAAJ is circumscribed by dharma. Bharat's newfound power and wealth should not be used as others do to establish dominion of one political order over another. Rather, it should be used to replace adharma with dharma. Bhagwan Ram did not annex Kishkinda or Lanka. He merely replaced tyrannical, corrupt rulers with dharmic ones. if this requires toppling corrupt regimes, as it did, so be it. The establishment of dharma may require that also, toppling corrupt regimes. But Bhagwan Ram avoided usurping people's land, taking away people's property. Kishkinda was given to Sugriv, a son of the soil, so to speak. And again, Lanka went to Vibhishan in the same way. Sanatana Dharma was never about expropriating anybody's land. It has always been about establishing dharma, the bedrock of Rām RAAJ. Sita represents, as I told you also, Atma Shakti, the inner strength that a civilization needs to take a pratigna like Bhishma. We have to look to our heroes, the Dharmavis, the one who stood up for Dharma, to derive inspiration and inner strength. Each one of us has a Hanuman sitting inside, one who has forgotten his inner strength. Let Rām KAAJ, like it did to Hanuman, let Rām KAAJ jagave that latent wealth of power within all of us, rise like a mountain and seize the moment to effectively engage in Rām KAAJ. In his adherence to Rām KAAJ, Hanumanji forgot to take rest and food also. Rām KAAJ ki ne binu, mohi kahan bishram. The next aspect of this Rām KAAJ is Setu Bandhana, the making of this bridge. Bridging the gap between Bharat and Lanka, the entire army of workers were inspired by Bhagwan Ram to build this bridge, to bridge Bharat and Lanka. It was done to remove Ravan, retrieve Sitaji, and put leadership in the hands of a Dharmic king, Vibhishan. Building bridges with Sanatanis and other like-minded cultures across the globe is a step in the right direction of retrieving our lost power, glory, spiritual wealth, and all that represented by Sitaji. It also positions us to spread the idea of oneness to the world, which the world so desperately needs. Many feel that alliances is a biased, one-sided choice. I'm aligning with this people as opposed to those people. Even Bali asked Bhagwan Ram, why did you align with Sugriv? Why didn't you align with me? He also questioned Bhagwan Ram. But you have to see the examples of the Shastras. Sugriv is Surya avatar. And in another yuga, Bhagwan aligned with Sugriv in Ram avatar. In the other yuga, in the first yuga, he aligned with Sugriv, who is Surya avatar. In the next yuga, Bhagwan aligned with Arjuna, who is Indra avatar. But Indra was Bali in the previous yuga. So he did not make alliance with Indra avatar in previous yuga. He made alliance with Surya avatar. You come one yuga later, he makes alliance with Arjuna, who is Bali now. And he doesn't make alliance with Karna, who is Surya. So he switches. So somebody asks Bhagwan Ram, what is it? What is this thing? One time you make alliance with this fellow, next time you make alliance with that fellow. What type of alliance is this? You don't know about political alliance or what? But Bhagwan Ram does not make alliance with this one or that one. Bhagwan Ram makes alliance with Dharma. It has nothing to do with Indra and Surya. Who is on the side of Dharma? I am on their side. This is his teaching. So, it proves that really he is concerned about Dharma samsthapanartha. He makes alliances with those who stand on the side of Dharma. Building bridges is about unity. Anekata me ekata. We derive Shakti in unity. Therefore, there is, though there will be natural forces rallying against such unity, the Tamasic Sagar, forces rallying against such unity, Tamasic Sagar, inspired by Ram, we have to persevere to work with Sanatanis, whatever their stripes, to bring Rām RAAJ to the world. See, the example is right there. Bears, monkeys, and squirrels worked together. Remember, bears eat monkeys and squirrels. But inspired by Bhagwan Ram, they worked together. Inspired by Rām KAAJ. Whatever the stripes we belong to, all of us should be working together. We may have our little disagreements and this and that, but Rām KAAJ requires all of us to be working together. Touching base with and forming bonds with Sanatanis in the Caribbean and further afield should be a constant goal. There is a great example set by our own Dr. Shri Raviji to bridge the ethnic gap right here at home itself, working with our African brothers and sisters for making Trinidad and Tobago better. Envisioning an overarching goal of Rām RAAJ through Rām KAAJ helps us to see beyond the restrictions and limitations of ethnicity, caste, creeds, and sampradaya and all of that. Remember, at one time, even the Vaishnavites and Shaivites did not get along. You all may not be knowing about this, but our own Vaishnavites and Shaivites used to fight each other, quite akin to what is there between Sunni and Shia today. But Tulsidas ji nicely bridged this gap between the two by making Rama the Ishta Devata of Shiva and Bhagavan Shiva the Ishta Devata of Ram. Ki Jai. Whole Tulsi Ramayana is about bridging this vast gulf between Vaishnavites and Shaivites. Ram walked the length and breadth of Bharat, meeting all the various leaders and citizens of whatever creed, caste, species, or political affiliation, showing equal love and genuine concern for their welfare. His love for Shabari, Sugriv, Guha, Kevat is as deep and comforting as his love for Valmiki ji, Agastya Muni, Sutikshana, Sharavanga Rishi, and all the rishis on the other side. He assures and the excommunicated Sugriva from the Banar clan and instills confidence in his sagging heart to face his nemesis Bali. Against the advice of Sugriva, he embraces Vibhishana from the Rakshas clan, Ravan's brother, and crowns him king of Lanka. He tells Sugriv, Koti biprabada lagahi chahu, aye sharan tajahu naitahu. Even if he has killed 1,000,000 Brahmanas and he comes to me, I will still accept him. If one comes to me, even after slaying countless Brahmanas, I accept him. He accepts all. He lifts Vibhishan and brings him to his heart. He embraces Sugriv in the same way. In this way, Rama builds bridges and forges alliances with both the Banar clan and the Rakshas clan. The essential teaching, therefore, of Sanatana Dharma is this, in this regard, is to recognize and respect differences and work together to propagate Sanatana Dharma in the world. Rakshason se yuddha karna. The third requirement of the Rām KAAJ, all of us have to be, what is literally means fighting Rakshasas. But in the airplane, when you sit, they say, put on your mask first before putting on the mask of somebody in your care. I hear it every day. We cannot be in the Sena for Rām KAAJ if we ourselves do not embody the values of a Ram Sainik, a soldier of Ram. Fighting Rakshasas means removing the Durgunas in our own personality, making us fit for Rām KAAJ. Nor is it that we remove all the Durgunas, means negative traits, from our personality, then start doing the work of Ram. It is not that. We start and we improve as we go along. We cannot learn to swim on a comfortable bed. We have to jump into the water to learn. So we have to hit the ground running, as they say. Monkeys are a motley bunch, but when infused with the vision of Rām KAAJ and finally Rām RAAJ, their natural fickleness and fear disappear. Adherence to Rām KAAJ sends away negative traits. Vibhishana, kicked out by his brother, comes for refuge to Ram. Ram asks Sugriv, what do you think the course of action should be now? What should we do? Sugriv says, Prabhu, we never know, these Rakshasas, what intentions they have. I feel we should tie him up and lock him up too. Sugriv quickly forgets that he himself was kicked out by his brother also. And he came to Ram, and Ram gave him refuge. We quickly forget the graces that were extended to us by the world and deny those same graces to others. This indicates a deep selfishness in the human heart. And many other durgunas are the root of our personality. Against the advice of Sugriv, Bhagavan Ram wholeheartedly accepts Vibhishana as his own. The idea is we have to keep looking inside to find out our negative traits and keep on removing them. In the presence of Ram also, that selfishness of Sugriva did not go away. So much so as to tell Ram we should lock up Vibhishan when he comes. So those type of durgunas, when they are there, become impediments for us doing Rām KAAJ. So that is what is meant by fighting Rakshasas. A worker for Ram has to work and learn and become selfless as he works, to extend courtesy, love, and consideration for others that may not be of my ethnicity or religion. Of course, if the others we are talking about have an agenda to remove me because I do not share their ethnicity or religion, then make no mistake, Sanatana Dharma equips me with a fitting response. Bhagwan Ram removed Khara and Dushana because they came to remove him. There is no question in Sanatana Dharma about turning the other cheek and all of that sort of thing. If somebody comes to remove me, like he demonstrates, well, before he could do that, like Khara Dushan, I have to remove? Yeah. This is the teaching. There's another very important lesson in Hanumanji's search for Sita Maya. Angad had a shrap that if he ever saw the face of Ravan's youngest son, Akshakumar, he will die. Angad had a shrap like that. So Angad could not go. Therefore, knowing that Angad will soon be coming behind, Hanumanji removed that Akshakumar first, thus paving the way for Angad's safe arrival in future. Rām KAAJ requires all of us right now to think about those who are coming behind us. What type of world are we leaving behind for them to inherit, and what roads are we paving for our future generations? Our Girmitya parents gave us all that we have. What are we going to give to those who are coming behind, or those who are the future generations? It behoves us to lay down a Rām RAAJ to be inherited by our nation's children in the coming years. The Rakshasa's excessive consumption, which we are all engaged in, is going to spell the death knell of the earth, and we are going to have our children inherit an earth which we have already killed. Hanumanji is paving the way for who is coming behind. And if we don't do that, then it is not a Rām KAAJ, it is our KAAJ. We have to be paving a proper road for them who are coming. Parenting is misguided and or totally absent. The Rakshas of Tamas has plunged us into stupor. We are producing generations of criminals and corrupt citizens. Everywhere I'm traveling, every day across this world, everybody, first question when I exit the airport, Swamiji, what about the crime situation in Trinidad? I have to answer this question every single time I come out of the airport. See the perception on the outside. So what kind of world are we leaving for our children? What kind of road are we paving for our children? Rām KAAJ requires us to remember the graces the ancestors blessed us with, a legacy of discipline, hard work, legitimately acquired wealth, and a value system guided by Raghukula Riti Sada Chali Aayi. Prāṇa Jai Baru, Vachan Na Jai. We will give our life, but we will not go back on our word. We can only bequeath this legacy to our children when we remove the rakshas of selfishness from our own personality and replace it with a resolve to do Rām KAAJ, taking up the duty of parents as upright citizens of this nation and making it better for the future generations that are coming behind us. Dharma Palan, Rām KAAJ, last element. In my estimation, the greatest act of Dharma Palan, fostering and protecting Dharma, is to learn what Sanatan Dharma is at a fundamental level. Dharma is not something that exists in textbooks. It must be learned and imbibed till it becomes part of our DNA. The purpose of the avatar is to protect Dharma. It can be protected only when we become exemplars of Dharma, not read and talk about it. In this regard, Rām KAAJ for us will also consist of building organizations and institutions and evolving innovative and updated methods for ourselves and our children to learn the tenets of Sanatana Dharma fundamentally. Learning is a prerequisite for imbibing. Let us all resolve to strive for the civilizational ideal of Rām RAAJ through Rām KAAJ. And just on my flight, on the way back here, I wrote 2 lines day before night. I just want to read it out for you. It's half Trini and half Hindi. Yeah. Actually, I just also found out a nice name for that. It's called Trindi. Half Hindi and half Trini. If you have a little bit of large, you would feel for the Samaj and lend your hand for Rām KAAJ to bring about a happy Rām RAAJ.
Jai Shri Ram. Thank you, Swamiji. And before I introduce our next item, I must recognize our online participants, people who are viewing us. We have members from Mauritius, Fiji, the USA, South Africa, Bangladesh, and we also want to recognize Professor Anantanan Rambachan, who's also viewing our program online. One of the greatest insignias of our noble Hindu traditions is one of taking firm, formal resolutions or sankalpas. It ensures that we remind ourselves constantly of our highest possibility, which filters and reflects in our thoughts, words, and deeds as individuals and as a nation. Today, for Varsha Pratipada, we take a sankalp. And we take the core ideas and important messages of this year's theme, Rām RAAJ through Rām KAAJ, fulfilling duties to revive a nation, into our own hearts, as well as the national consciousness. We ask that if you also wish to invoke these precepts into your lives, having participated today in this program, that you repeat with us these sankalpas. Gita Vahiniji of the Hindu Prachar Kendra will lead the proceedings that will be carried out by Dr. Vishi Bihari of Sewa Titi and Srimati Sita Babalji of the Vishwanath Hindu Social and Cultural Organization.
Boliye Siyapati Ramachandra ki Jai. Before we get to the very serious matter of the Sankalp, this was not in the program. but I just got the message and I said I have to come and read this, particularly because of Swamiji's message and what we are sharing here today. You will probably be missing our dear Professor Narayan Singh and Shiromani Ji. They are in Ayodhyā at this very moment at the Sarayu Arati, okay? And so I'm reading. Today we visited the Surya Kund, where rishis did yajna, which yielded gold. Vikramaditya used this to build Ayodhya. We visited Gupta Ghat at Sarayu River, where Shri Ram gave up his body to ascend to Swargalok. We saw Hanuman Garhi, which was a gift for Hanuman from Shri Ram upon their return to Ayodhya. We went to Sita Rasoi, her kitchen where she cooked for the family and the saints and sages. We went to Valmiki's ashram, where he wrote the Ramayana in the presence of Hanuman. The words of the entire Ramayana are etched on the walls. There are murtis of Valmiki Ji and Lavan Kush, also a huge murti of Hanuman Swami. We met Muni Ramdas at Sita's Rasoi. He and his followers did not take food for 40 years. He said he will eat when Sri Ram's Mandir is built and when he returns to Ayodhya. On the 22nd of January, Modi Ji, the Prime Minister, fed him with his own hands. We made a donation in the name of our ancestors and the people of our country. We are now culminating this experience with Arati on the banks of the river Sarayu. Jai Shri Rama. I thought I could not miss sharing this and also say how jealous we all are. Acha, now to the serious matter of the Sankalpa. So a lot has been shared for our reflection, and all of this is considered in the Sankalpa that is being put before us. Taking the Sankalp, it is not compulsory. You are urged to listen carefully as it is being read and presented by Vishiji and by Sita Ji. And at the end of the readings, you have an envelope with a few grains of rice grains, and the kush grass. You will be invited for the chanting of the Omkar and the chanting of Jai Shri Rama if you wish to take the Sankalp, having listened to the expressed ideas. So I will give you instruction for that. I invite them both to present the Sankalp, listen carefully, and then we will stand, and those who wish to take the Sankalp again, you will do that. Jai Shri Ram.
Whereas for over 1,000 years, Hindus have been colonized, brutalized, and have had their mandirs vandalized and civilization invaded and raided. And whereas Sri Ram's Janmastan has been embroiled in battles for centuries, and many heroes, known and unknown, have lost their lives in the movement to reclaim the sacred place where Bhagavan took avatar. And whereas Sri Ram Lala's Mandir in Ayodhya has been rebuilt and Bhagwan's Pratiṣṭhā has now taken place, and the world has witnessed this historic moment with great celebration and deep devotion, especially the descendants of Bharat in diasporas across the world. And whereas the Hindu diaspora, through indentureship to the present, has taken inspiration from their ancestry, civilization, and culture in building their lives and nations wherever they live, and Sri Ramcharita Manas has been the survival text.
Namaste. Be it resolved that we acknowledge Rām RAAJ as not as a mythical utopia, but as our attainable aspiration to establish Rām RAAJ as our duty and policy for our nation. Be it resolved that we reaffirm our belief in the words of Sri Ram, Janani Janmabhūmischa Swargadapi Gariyasi, mother, and motherland are greater than heaven itself, and strive towards becoming model citizens through Rām KAAJ. Be it resolved that we commit to hold ourselves, our community leaders, and our national leaders to high moral and ethical standards as embodied by Shri Ram, demanding noble governance of our nation for the benefit of all persons. Be it resolved that we commit to remove the mental shackles of colonialism by educating ourselves on our civilizational greatness and ideals, uncolored by their bias and agenda. Be it resolved that we commit to stand firmly for the principles of Sanatana Dharma, recognizing it as eternal and relevant to the development of ourselves, our community, and our country.
I invite you all to please stand. I hope you have listened carefully, and if you agree that you can give this commitment to what Rām RAAJ embodies, and all of us as citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, that we can commit to what was shared, you can take the rice grains. Again, I emphasize it's not compulsory. In your right hand, with the piece of kush, that is also very sacred and symbolic. And we chant powerfully the Omkar 3 times together. बोलिए सियापति रामचंद्र की जय। जय श्री राम, जय श्री राम, जय श्री राम। हर हर Mahadev. Please take your seats. If you have taken the sankalp, you put the grains and the piece of grass back into the envelope, and you can keep that with you. Those who have not committed to the sankalp, we will collect those envelopes afterwards, but you please keep the ones that you have used. Thank you all.
Something very instructive from Swamiji's message was that Hanumanji cleared the way for those who came behind him. Having now taken this vow today that we will live by the duty that is expected of us as children of this noble tradition, Sanatana Dharma, we must remember that the duty is not only to those who have gone, but also to the next generation as well. And therefore, to reinforce that duty, we present the voice of the next generation to you, our Yuva, through Kumari Prashanta Singh. Kumari Prashanta Singh is a dedicated student on the path of becoming a doctor of dental surgery. Alongside her academic pursuits, she actively participates in cultural and athletic endeavors as a member of the Hindu Swayamsevak Sangh and the Hindu Prachar Kendra. Prashanta's remarkable achievements include being a 2-time under-18 national champion in archery and earning a black belt from a renowned Japanese master. She is also a representative of Trinidad and Tobago, previously representing us at the Pan American Karate Championship. garnering recognition as the most outstanding karateka and winning 10 gold medals, 7 silver, and 1 bronze. We can do better than that. Additionally, Pratiṣṭhā is trained as a lifeguard and is a skilled Odissi dancer since the age of 2. Her advocacy work extends internationally, having represented and spoken at the 2018 Hindu World Conference in Chicago, and engagements with the Hindu National Students Forum and the Vishar Mantan in the United Kingdom. Of note, she has showcased her many talents in cultural performances at prestigious events such as the Kumbh Mela and the 6th Ramayana Festival in India. I give you Kumari Prashanta Singh.
Namaskar. Observing all protocols, let us reflect on the life of Shri Ram. It becomes evident that he was nurtured in the cradle of Dharma, which ultimately led him to establish Rām RAAJ. Just as we aspire for our young boys to emulate Shri Ram and our girls to embody the virtues of Sita Ma, we must recognize that this transformation does not occur overnight. Shri Ram's journey to Rām RAAJ shows the importance of growing up in the tender embrace of Dharma, a principle he learned from his parents, siblings, wife, and throughout his entire existence. Our ancestors who crossed the Kalapani clung to their Dharma. We are here in this Mandir today because for generations we have been encouraged to uphold our Dharma. While the past generations have done their utmost, the torchbearers of Dharma now rest upon the shoulders of the youth. So why should we, the youths of Trinidad and Tobago, commit to dharmic initiatives? It begins with the recognition that we must surpass the achievements of our past generations, knowing that one day we too shall age. We will look back at the younger generation and want that the world we left behind cherishes the Ramayana and its profound teachings. Thus, we must actively engage in every Hindu festival, program, seminar, satsang, mandirs, and even workshops. For it is through our personal involvement in Dharma that we pave the path for future generations. So I urge you to take note of the date for next year's Varsha Pratipada, the Hindu New Year, which is on Sunday, the 30th of March, 2025. Our journey entails a commitment to continual self-improvement through sadhana and spiritual disciplines, alongside fostering companionship with like-minded, uplifting individuals, as is suggested in the Sri Ramcharitamanas. Binu satasanga viveka na hoi, thereby fostering a community that nurtures spiritual exploration and the pursuit of Dharma. Recently in satsang, I learned that Baba Tulsidas began writing the Sri Ramcharitamanas in Ayodhyā when the Mandir had already been demolished. And today, it stands tall and proud, much like every Hindu should. The news of Sri Ram's return to Ayodhyā fills me with hope for the young generation, reaffirming that Dharma always prevails, whether on the battlefield of Kurukshetra or in the halls of the Indian Supreme Court. The Shri Ram Janmabhūmi Mandir is one of the greatest examples to persevere even for more than 500 years, because Dharmo Rakshati Rakshataha, protect Dharma and it will protect you. Shri Ram Lalla ki Jai. Jai Shri Ram. Namaskar.
On behalf of the Varsha Pratipada Sansad, Parliament of the Hindu New Year, we wish to thank all of you, our honored and distinguished guests, our senators, and all the many sevaks and sevikas who made this event possible. So much goes into making an event like this possible. Our sincere and heartfelt thanks to the Hindu Prachar Kendra, Geeta Vahiniji, and Dr. Shri Raviji for their support and guidance for this program, as well as making the Shri Ram Mandir available for this auspicious occasion. We also thank Brahmacharinji Veena Chaitanya, who has been tirelessly coordinating efforts from all the way in Bharat Desh. We also recognize our wonderful tech team led by Harshanji and his father, who have made the entire program run smoothly from start to finish. Thank you. And finally, our heartfelt pranams at the feet of our Mārgadarśak, Pūjya Swāmī Prakāshānandaji. His generosity and divine wisdom are unparalleled. Without a vision forward, the path cannot be taken. Thank you, Swamiji.
Varsha Pratipada Sansad is not a single event, but rather a continued Hindu vision and offering of service to our nation and to the world. Discussions of this program began as early as November, December last year. And what you see is just a culmination of lots of discussions over months. The Senate would have taken place on the 10th of March, and today on the 31st is the main event. We invite you to keep in mind that the next Varsha Pratipada Sansad will take place on the 30th of March 2025, and that is the actual day according to the calendar of the Pratipada, the first day of the Hindu New Year. So please keep that date in mind. It is an exercise of service to our nation and service to the world. The message, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the world is one family. May we all learn and serve together as one family and bring infinite riches of wisdom and love embedded in our Sanatana Dharma to all. As we close today, we will invite once more our gracious hostess, Geeta Vahiniji of the Hindu Prachar Kendra, who will guide us through the Aarti and the reverential closing through prayer today. As she comes on stage, I want to remind you that upcoming on April the 27th is a major event also in line with January's event, our third epic Hanuman chanting tree. Each and every one of you are invited to come forward as I know Raviji says, after Ram has arrived, what comes next? The Sanjeevani healing of our nation through the Hanuman Chalisa. I invite you, Geeta Vahiniji.
I just was jotting down a little note to make sure that I say thank you to Ved ji, Vishala ji, and Varuna ji, and I realize 3 V's. So thank you very much. So we do have a few closing announcements. We are going to do the Dvaja Pranam first, and then Raviji has asked for a few minutes. We actually have a few minutes before we reach to 4 o'clock, and we cannot not have Raviji share a sentiment and share his reflections when we're talking about RāM KAAJ and RāM RAAJ, and we're talking about epic, and he's in our national flag. One is the national flag, one is the Bhagwad Dvaj. So we've heard from Bhagwad Dvaj, we have to hear from the Patriot. So I invite you all to please stand, Pratiṣṭhā, and we stand at attention. Arama Upavisha, please be seated. And we'll have Raviji before we just have our couple closing announcements and mantra. And while he's coming, as they talked about Epic, the flyer is at the back. Please collect one before you leave so you'll get all the details.
Jai Shri Ram. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Why I asked to speak with you for a few words, it is for the reason that the Varsha Pratipada Sansad is a unique creation where our Hindu brothers and sisters have come together over many years, developing a system that we can present to our people, well thought out issues that we face with and how to treat with them. In that we have brought our ancient, put together on the table the wisdom from our ancient Shastras and their experiences of the people, and also create a system to distribute those ideas and the discussions using a modern system of how a parliament, a nation, a social a system, democratic nation works. So we brought these two things, and that is not any little thing. Trinidad is a place where there's a lot of creativity. You would be surprised that there are many parts of the world there is something called Emancipation Day, but it started in Trinidad. There's many parts of the world that there is Diwali Nagar. It started in Trinidad. Somehow or the other, this place in the Caribbean, especially Staten Island, has some blessings to give the people who live here. And we can bring this to the entire Hindu civilization, how to blend both and treat with the issues. So we face, this is a more intellectual, because generally the Singhasan is not an intellectual space, sorry to say that. When the subjects that we treat with them is highly intellectual, highly esoteric, but somehow or the other, over the years we have not developed the Singhasan as an intellectual forum. So we have to find some ways and to honor how our ancestors imagined the Singhasan, but find new ways to do something. But it will need the support of our people in 2 or 3 ways. One, it will start to find it if you find it meaningful. That's the first question. Because it takes a lot of time, as Dr. Veda was saying. But we need some bright young people also to join us and share. I have to thank Vaniji, Swami Vinaji. I can't get to change the name. So I have to thank her for it. From there, she has been pushing us all the time. But that's not fair. Worse, it is a shame on our people that we cannot create the interest here. I do not know if that is a comment on the state of our interest in RāM KAAJ. So I'm going to appeal to you that it comes up once a year. We could invite you in the discussion as we go on and help create this magnificent tool that is emerging here in Trinidad, on this Vedi of Trinidad, for our people throughout the world. You'll be surprised to know, I got a correspondence asking me to explain about some of the creative things you're doing here in Trinidad because they are hearing about it, because there is a text that's going to be written about what's happening across the world in Hinduism. And this is one of the issues we want to understand, how you all are managing this thing. So I come here to appeal to you, and I will ask Varunaji to take some names who would join with us every year to make this. What are necessary? We want some people to meet sometime to make decisions, because they don't want to make it, I say so and everybody have to do it, or Swamiji says so, ever had to do it. Swamiji comes at the end. We have to create this for him. He's a busy man. We can't hold him up to do these things. The second thing is that we will need some money to do it. No, that is why our forefathers, when they came, their first deity was Lakshmi. Very smart people, because without money, nothing. It is said in the Shastra, without dharma, no, without Vit, without Lakshmi, no dharma. Ram couldn't function without Sita. Even when she went away, it said make him become successful. So that is the second thing. And the third, to make sure that the event comes out and comes out well. Thank you so much for your time. Jai Shri Ram.
Jai Shri Ram. So I'm doing one more reading because it's just too delightful. Geets, plenty prayers here, which we love. Great food, which we love by the roadside. Meeting people, which we love. And this is the line here. Being able to walk about freely, which we miss in our own country. Being able to sit outside literally on the road and gaff with strangers, which we love. This is truly Vaikuntha Lok. This is Ayodhyā, Sri Rama's own country. This is from Shiromani. Jai! So wonderful. So we'll stand shortly for the closing mantras. Raviji mentioned about the expense. VPS, it seems simple when it's put together like this. And yes, we have been meeting since early November, I think even from October. And we are going to chant the mantra that we have chanted for all of these meetings that we have done virtually. So Aarti will be passed. And whatever you can offer in the Aarti, we are asking, making a special plea for the Aarti offering today to help us to manage the expenditure of this program. You could understand all the groups that form VPS, each group needs money. Correct, Swamiji? Very correct. We need badly, all of us. So we are all, and we are also giving. Look, Veji, when he came, he brought his contribution. We are all putting a little. We have to be like the squirrel, bring you a little bit of money, not sand. All right, for us. So whatever you can offer in the Aarti, please do so while that is going on. I asked our technician, Harshanji, always so helpful and so reasonable and all of that and so cool. If he can pull up the Pandit Nirmal's video as we are celebrating Sri Ramcharitmanas this year. So while Aarti is being passed, you'll be able to see that. And for the bhojan today, we are having a delicious wrapped roti. This wrapped roti is Raviji's favorite, right, Ji? Yes, so sometimes he just, when he eat one, I want to eat another one, But anyway, so out across in the building there, you can sit and eat if you wish. It's packaged for you also to take if you need to leave right away. So I'm sure we'd want to meet and greet each other. So just outside, afterwards in the Heritage Institute building to my left-hand side. Well, Raviji is saying that you all could go up and see the building and see the sunset. It is so spectacular these days, but we are not liable because the step is not fully ready, so I don't know how property. Sonji and the others, really, you should go and it's still hot out right now, but it really is spectacular and beautiful on the rooftop. So thank you all. Let's stand for our mantras as we give thanks and pray together. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. बोलिए सियापति रामचंद्र की, पवन सुत हनुमान की, गोस्वामी तुलसीदास की, भारत माता की, ट्रिनिडाद और टोबैगो देश की, बोलिए श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय। जय जय सीताराम। हर हर महादेव। Please take your seats, and Vishalaji said the Google form for your feedback, and if you want to share any information, we will be sharing a form virtually. We have most of your contacts. If you are not able to do the Google forms and so on, we will take your information at the back. Yes, Raviji?
Actually, now this year is starting a diaspora event. We have intentions of Guyana, outside to come to perform, Suriname, and 2 groups from America. So Guyana is coming also. Really Namaskar. And nearby. Suriname from America. Epic chanting. So there are diaspora people who are coming here to perform, and Guyana is coming to perform and to announce their date. Right, Amit? And I wanted to give a big home. The amount of time is given up here. The gentleman, the Pisana, from Bharat, and he has a business place here, and he has been very, very helpful this year. So it's good, it's growing, and therefore, right now we are contemplating a kind of a production with the flying Hanuman right around the country. So we wanted to support that. The more you support it, it will catch fire, because that is how epic will be successful. We did it. It came for the first time, 2 persons, Yanki, who is the soul of this thing, and Vishnu. They asked and thinking that something we can take get 1,000 people to do much. We make a big effort, 12,000 in 19 and 2015, 12,000. And then next year, when Swamiji came, 5,000 for the basic school. This year we want to make 15,000. We ask you for your full support and talk about it all the time, and engaging people and energize them to participate. You must not do it.
Thank you very much. Yes, yes.
Prior to the 27th, from the 17th to the 25th, at the Diwali Nagar, the Mandir, we're having Hanuman Puja and Satsang, the natural build-up to the epic. We want to invite from 7 to 8:30, and Puja, Satsang, Chalisa, the different pundits, 9 different pundits, they will discourse on Hanuman Chalisa, 5 verses per night, and we want to invite all of you to come. At the Nagar, of course, just before the auditorium. The Mandir is there. All right? So please feel free to come and the natural build-up to this great epic. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes. One thing in Trinidad, we have no shortage of activities. You know, there's always something that we can immerse ourselves in. And this is what Rām KAAJ is about. We have to be in it and support it. Jai Shri Ram. Please stand, everyone. Bhojan mantra, and then we'll disperse. Om Brahmarpanam Brahmavir Brahmagnau Brahmanahutam Brahmaivatena Gantavyam Brahma Karma Samadhina Om Jai Shri Ram. Acha, so please make your arti offering, meet and greet, and we'll see you all in the Institute building for your evening meal.